So I'm just going to give people my brain, especially for people in Naples, Florida. Here is my mathematics. I'm good at math. If you stay in Naples, you survive. So when you have, think of it like this. If you're in Naples, you survive because you have time. Here you have time. So if you're here, you survive, period. Concerning the world, I'm just gonna just say it to you very strategically, and these are my exact words. You see all these people are trying to hurt you and take advantage of you, or you're seeing whoa, wait a second, what's going on? It's because this is the Hunger Games right now. So what does this mean? Well, you gotta start not necessarily seeing the difference, but you have to be self-aware. What I mean by self-aware, people are making some changes and it's getting tricky. So I'm going to explain what I mean and exactly what I mean. If you're in the Hunger Games, you think that you can survive. If you're an alpha, you think that you can survive if you have blades, like big swords. You want to be an alpha. It's like if I told you genius code, and I'll leave it like this. Say, why on God's green earth would Isaiah choose and agree with Jesus? Because he had a thing called emotional intelligence. Something a lot of people, they don't understand what that is. But in business, because this is not Christian in terms of appearance or image, this is Christian in terms of business. This is when you start making a lot of money, or it's a direct correlation to how much money you're making in life, because these are the things that really smart people can lack. They can, in this area or department of empathy or compassion or spiritualness, or your spiritual side, that's where you're gonna lack. So if we're having a genius meeting, while I'm on the street, I'm gonna show people. I looked at my life at 18, 19, 20. So I've made a bunch of decisions for the next generation. So what does this mean? I started doing this when I was 14. I see a cell phone. I'm like, well, this cell phone's gonna be around for a while. I'll be able to show my kids what I look like on a cell phone. So I'm like, all I have to do pretty much is capture one photo and leave a paper trail that I'm the same person. And people can see that those people are really bad people. Speaking to the next generation is like when I said, and it's important that I said it now, regardless of people tell you, they do the same thing to your mother, including myself. Yes, I put my hand up. That's not the past. I did those things, right? I take full responsibility for it, and therefore I have to take the charge, or I have to do it myself. And it's the concept of if I'm a Christian, I'm on someone's island. If I'm not on someone's island, I gotta pay to be on the island. You gotta pay. You gotta pay your way every time. So I designed my life to where I'm not entitled. Why do I have an alleged? Because it completely prevents me from becoming entitled. I do not encourage people to do this. This is something for me. This is something to where it's almost like I don't have any charges on my record. I still have a whole bunch of backup plans. But it forces people to change because they're like, oh wait, but you shouldn't change. Like every other adult, So I'm gonna tell you what I do so people can adjust to it. You have 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, all the way up to 40. So when people say you want to be an alpha, alpha doesn't necessarily mean, so it's gonna surprise people. Alpha does not necessarily mean that your profile, you're in shape. Alpha could mean that you're attractive. Alpha could literally just mean on a different planet that you have more arms. Alpha could just mean that you have an ally, right? It's not just you have allies. So I made myself bigger. So I went to the school too. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. That's why I went to Wittenberg. They're not just smart people. They're smart people, and they're winners, and they're publicists for my life, which means they do the same thing that I do. So if there's a problem, right, and usually Wittenberg, I did my thing, they're on their toes. Women and guys, they understand it, like in every department, but I want to be specific for Naples. If you're in the city, you're safe, but the world is changing. I'm just gonna give you my perspective. It looks like the creator's trying to kill a bunch of people. Like, that's what it looks like to me. Like, when I say kill, it's not like we're playing whack-a-mole, but it's like he basically, I know people say there's an alpha state. Right now, there isn't an alpha state. You really have to do, like, in real time, you have to make the right decision. So let's say that someone say go in the military. So guess what? This guy's starting a war now, he's a predator. So you just stepped in the box of getting killed. You were supposed to say that war is bad, right? You were supposed to be smart by not going. Another one is dating. This is the tricky one. This is the part that's gonna hurt people. Isaiah's decision to not get married was an emotionally intelligent decision. Why? I'm not hurting anybody. Why is it important for me to show that I'm not hurting someone and go off of fate for a lot of my decisions in life? Because it's the God of the universe, which means the choice to stay and also reaping the benefits. But if you look at my decision not to get married, it's like, I'm not getting married, which means there's less sin involved. I'm choosing to cut off my hand, right? So a lot of this stage of my life, it's cutting off the hand. So I'm calculated. So Alpha, Hunger Games, you look at PETA, right? He just bolted straight to the forest. That's P-word. That's P-word. You're supposed to go up and fight. Like The Rock, you're supposed to fight. Be a man, fight. Right? But then you can see how much damage they took, and not only that, you can see that like, whoa, wait a second, you gotta be at like a certain intelligence. So you see that intelligence, right, is how you continue to survive. You even see that's the only reason you survive. So there are reasons I chose to be a musician. It's the level of difficulty it takes to accomplish this, and the affirmation. I know some people give me credit. The biggest advice that someone said is, this is for someone that's older. He said, when we look for employment, we look for people that have been in a profession for more than 5 years. So I'm in music for more than 10. And it's one of the hardest professions to be in. So that's why I went into it. It's almost like saying I wanted to make my life really hard. I wanted to choose the hardest profession. It's basically I wanted to be an entrepreneur. This is why Gary's encouraging people emotionally to be an entrepreneur. Why? Because it's hard to do it. So you're going to get credit for being intelligent. The concept of Isaiah, your decisions are interesting. I have extra money. I know people are like Star Wars. I make a gold-sized sculpture, like, you know, I make a cast and I make it and I sell it for a lot of money. It's like for an auction. That's a survival tactic, but it works every time. Like, I want one, Isaiah. That's cool, you did it in 2 seconds. Not 2 seconds, but a couple days. So it's like a genius code there. So this is one of those interesting things. It's not Blockbuster, no, I'm not referring to that. I'm talking about, it's gonna seem like that was the right decision. Right, it's gonna seem like marriage was the right decision. It's gonna seem like it, but here's the crazy part. I know this is why people are like, is this why Jesus said no babies? That was the decision. He traded time, right? Time, not saying get a divorce. Time is precious, right? If I have all the time, I can make all the money in the world. But sometimes when you have a lot of kids, you don't have time. So think of it like this. There's people, when you have kids, you go fast. I'm not saying, you know, don't have kids, because that could be a survival tactic for some people. But I'm saying in my situation, it's like I traded a marriage for time, right? Time meaning it was in my best interest to just help influence and do business. And to make music and influence and do what I'm doing, be an entrepreneur. So hopefully that speaks on why. But you guys have to, basically everything is like, think of everything like a box. You know, a box, and you're supposed to step in 3 boxes every time. That's what the world's doing. Is that why people are getting like, you're supposed to step into 3 different boxes? My decision to go to Wittenberg was humble. You rise higher by humbling yourself. People forget that's an option. So I rose by humbling. It's a faith-based school for the next generation. I do believe in doing what is just and right. This is like an Ivy League school. It's like Harvard. You get credit. I can keep going. More importantly, this is a decision that I made. This school is like a chess move. Thank you.